This is Nitin Dahad with the Times, and I'm here at the OCP 24 Summit with Steve Helvie with OCP. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
So, Steve, you made some major announcements today. It's been, well, first of all, congratulations, 7,000 people, probably more. There were queues or line, so they say, at the entrance.
Yeah, it's been very good so far.
It's been, and that's gone up from like 4,000 last year.
That's right.
You've been growing. It's really packed in there. I've seen lots of people having really interesting conversations. I've also had some conversations. But tell us about some of the big announcements.
Thank you, Nitin. And as you rightly pointed out, it is our largest OCP event that we've ever had to date. There's been a few things, I think, that have spurred this along. One is certainly the influx of AI and the momentum behind that. But more importantly, it's just the community itself and the momentum that we're seeing working together. We have a few of the larger announcements. One, just on some high-level numbers, we're well up over 350 members now. The market impact, which will be released in a couple days from IDC, indicates that we're approaching $74 billion of OCP recognized revenue impact, and that's from our members selling OCP style designs and solutions into the market. We've also formed a couple new alliances. Of course, we have many alliances throughout the industry, but we've formed two new ones, one with a storage organization and the other one with the Net Zero Innovation Hub, which is a pan-European organization focused on data center sustainability. And we'll be doing a lot of work on heat reuse that will be both transparent in their organization, and then that work will then flow back over through the OCP. So we're excited about that. And the bigger announcement in my world is the launch of the open chiplet economy marketplace.
Excellent. I mean, that is something that we've covered quite a lot in E-Times, and there's always been a question about how will that work. So tell us a little bit about how it's going to work.
Yeah, so I think the importance of chiplets is pretty relevant. It allows companies to modularize and decrease their development cycles. Traditionally, large companies do that in-house.
Yeah.
But through a strategy that we embarked on 2 years ago, we decided to work on opening up that environment that allowed third-party vendors to integrate their designs into the supply chain. So over the course of the last 2 years, we've worked on specifications and standardizations and requirements and best practice documents, and we thought that now, after that 2 years of work, that the projects themselves are ready to launch the marketplace. And our view of the marketplace is to be the front door to this economy, where integrators of any size can come and choose from a catalog of chiplets or piece together their EDA vendors or their IP blocks.
They don't have to be OCP members.
They do have to be OCP members to be part of the marketplace. That's correct.
All right. Okay.
So then they can go off and then build their systems and package. And we anticipate this supply chain changing quite rapidly. So we will profile members of big or small, but also highlight the other work that's been done in other industries. So other specifications, educational material specifications, and best practices.
Well, I think there was an institute in Belgium, IMEC, has just launched a chiplet announcement as well. So I think, that was quite interesting. But what does... I talked to a few people on the show floor, and they said they're going through the process of getting into that marketplace. What do you have to do to get onto the marketplace?
Yeah, one simple requirement is around being an OCP member, but more importantly, it's identifying the services and the things that you want to list. One thing that we've traditionally done is, well, is this product ready for market? But with the advancement of chiplets and how new the market is itself, we will be able to showcase those companies that may not have something in market right now, but are forecasted to have something in market, say, 12 months or 18 months in advance. And that's what we want to do. So people would provide me with the collateral and the design services and the areas that they want to list and highlight that they're capable of doing. It could be off-the-shelf chiplets ready to go. It could be IP blocks that they offer. It could be design services, test and validation, or partnership opportunities, VC funding.
And how many members have you got on there, or are you anticipating soon?
Anticipating, we have well over 20 in the community now that's across the marketplace, and that's expected to double within the next few months.
Okay. Tell me about the broader. I think there were 2 or 3 big announcements you made when you were talking earlier in the media analyst briefing.
Yeah, on the channel enablement programs, we have a lot of members. So where a lot of the work happens in the projects around developing specifications, how does that materialize into the market? And that's my world with helping specifications turn into products and then products into the market. So we have a few programs around that. One is the chiplets area that I just mentioned, how we're going to accelerate that emerging market. But there's a couple others, and one is the OCP SAFE, or the Security Assessment Framework and Enablement.
Okay.
And that's a project that was spearheaded by Google and Microsoft. And the business problem they were trying to solve, Nitin, is that traditionally these companies will go out and ask for third-party audit of firmware in devices. But many times they're going to ask for the same audit from the same auditor on the same type of device.
Right.
And they can't share those results.
Okay.
So the goal for this was to develop a checklist, and a checklist not only for the device vendor, but a checklist for the auditor. So an auditor can say, we want to be an approved
There's a
OCP.
standard process
Yes.
which is recognized.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they would engage this third-party auditor, come up and go through the firmware audit. It's not done in silos, so they would work back and forth, and when they're comfortable, they will provide a short-form security audit report onto the OCP GitHub. And then anyone can download that. And that really takes the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the security may be done, but of course there'll be the extra 20 that a customer will require. But the goal is reduce the redundancy, both from the auditor and from the device vendor. And more importantly, if you're an enterprise that may not have the funds to go off and do your own audit, you can leverage the work that's been done in the open community.
And there's been there was another announcement.
There was one other one, I wanted to mention around the OCP Ready for hyperscaler.
Okay.
So in the world of OCP, a lot of the infrastructure that's being rolled out at scale requires a certain type of facility to optimize its deployment. The community again came together and said, well, what are the requirements that we're going to ask for third-party colo operators to have in their facility? And it could be everything from elevator heights to ramp heights to loading dock access to water and cooling and power. What are those requirements that are best for a hyperscale setup? So they audited, or they came together with a checklist, and a data center operator can do a self-assessment and walk through that checklist, present their facility, and then become certified as OCP ready for hyperscale.
What one of the trends I've been talking to people is obviously the things like cooling and there's lots of other things, but what are you seeing as a community thing that you're working on next that you're going to be sort of looking at OCP?
Yeah, the cooling area is expanding quite rapidly. So everything from the liquid cooling areas, CDUs, certainly a big area.
You've got that big demo outside the registration area.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
So those areas, developing specifications. So right now in that, in the cooling area, it's developing so fast that no one can really sit down and say, all right, here's our specification for this. They're building requirements documents that allow you to start to move towards specifications. So you'll see more requirements documents coming out around fluid, CDUs, heat exchangers, and the other types of cooling. We do have specifications around connectors, and those have really taken off as well. So we've had a couple specifications in that. We have well over 7 or 8 suppliers in that area. I do think that the goal of OCP with all of these areas of technology is to help people decide on a particular set of specifications and then knit and build a multi-vendor supply chain that backs that up.
Okay, multi-vendor is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish. What's been the most interesting or surprising thing that you've seen this year?
So I would anticipate, I would break it down into 2 areas that have been most surprising. How quickly the cooling market has changed and the items that we see viewed on the marketplace. So just a couple of quarters ago, we would take a look at where people are looking on our website and see the different areas of interest. And that has flipped dramatically toward OpenRack version 3 design and cooling, dramatically, all within the last 6 months. So the speed at which that's happened has been quite remarkable. The other thing that is, to me, will be even more challenging is in the data center space. And how are these data centers that are being built right now, how are they going to be prepared for both air, liquid, immersion, and all the other types of cooling technologies out there? So that, to me, is the bigger challenge moving forward. And what's happening right now is all the areas around liquid cooling.
Well, Steve, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Nitin.